Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited to introduce to you Narenlie Santiago. She's a financial coach dedicated to helping Latinos achieve financial stability and prosperity. Narenlie specializes in assisting people and families who earn good incomes, but they're still struggling with living paycheck to paycheck, managing debt, and understanding where their money goes. She empowers her clients to gain clarity and control over their finances, eliminate debt, and shift their money mindset to embrace prosperity. Get ready to meet a financial expert who's changing lives by teaching the art of smart money management. Narenlie, welcome to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. I'm really happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Susan, for having me. I love it.
Absolutely. This is a money stuff is one of the toughest things for people. Like I know Myron Golden always says, well, money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. If you don't have it, you feel like you can't breathe. So,
I love Myron Golden.
Oh, all right. This is going to be fun. So you've heard him say it, right? So, all right. So let's talk a little bit more about who you serve and the problem that you help to solve for them.
Yeah. So I serve the Latin community. I say the Latin community because I felt like I was called to serve the Latin community. And, for marketing purpose, you're supposed to niche down.
Right. Yeah.
But really, I'm just here to serve, right? I'm just here to serve whoever needs financial help. And I help them, get control of their finances because, money is part of every part of our life, right? It's tied to every part of our life, but yet for a lot of us, no one ever really taught us how to handle money. They told us, well, make sure you work and, to get Social Security or take care of your credit. But that's about it. No one went deep into showing how to manage. So a lot of people struggle, and it's not their fault. It's not that they don't want to. It's just they just don't know how.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's, one mentor that I had said, our relationship with money is the longest lasting relationship of our lives. If you think about it, we outlive our parents. Usually we've involved with money before we ever meet our spouse or partner or, our kids or any of that. So when it's a haywire kind of relationship, man, that's
yeah. And
life-wrecking.
and it comes with other things, right? Because money is not just about numbers. It's not that simple. So that's why it's also a little complicated, right? There's emotions involved, there's experiences, past traumas, your parents got divorced because you heard them fighting about money all the time.
Right.
All these false beliefs that we have about money. We heard, oh, money's not that important, because, whether if you're religious, you think it makes you more spiritual, or just because you don't know how to make your money grow, right?
Yeah.
Not that deep down you don't want to, because everybody, if they're truly honest with themselves, everybody wants more money. Everybody would like to be without that stress, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But because of all these mental issues as well,
Can be.
those thought limitations, well, it makes us also make bad decisions with our money, right?
Yes.
So that's also a lot to do with it. And, I grew up like that too, and it affected me in a lot of ways. And we self-sabotage without knowing it.
Oh, sure.
And I read this book, Debo Desani. Strange name, but it's something along those lines. And, and some people could say, oh, well, I don't care about money, or money's not that important. And then he says something like, people say that, and I agree with him. And he's like, but when you talk about your health, your relationship with your family, all these things are greatly impacted by the lack or abundance of finances, of
Sure.
money. So
Oh, yeah.
money is important. Let's stop acting like it's not,
Right. Yeah, we
right?
have this weird thing, don't we? I mean, it's especially, if you've come from a religious or church or faith-based, background. There can be
Unfortunately.
so much to recover from that. I'm same. I was a pastor's wife for 22 years. I'm
Oh,
still
wow.
dealing with,
Wow.
the repercussions.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago, I was out taking a walk and I was like, huh, maybe Myron is right and God actually does want us to be rich. I mean, it's like, what the heck? How can it take this long to uncover, There's just so many little
Yeah.
it's like
Well, there's a funny
thorns.
story behind Myron and
Yeah.
my transformation. So it's so funny that you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned him. It's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Tell me more.
Yeah. So my financial story started like over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I at 30 years old, I started a business.
Mm-hmm.
7 months later, it went crashing, burning down because there were a lot of things that I didn't know. So here I am. The day that I got, it was like a little luncheonette,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to my location, and the lights were off. The lights were shut off because I couldn't pay the bill.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. And but can you, like, I'm there, I put all my hopes and dreams
Mm.
into this place, and then here I am, like, I wasn't making it. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It was like one of the worst times of my life, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there in the dark, and I'm like, and I didn't believe in God
Yeah.
at that time, right?
Yeah.
I called myself an atheist, and but I was like, at that point, I was like, something, like, I'm missing something. Something needs to change, right?
Yeah.
And so someone invited me to a retreat, and I went and I had my encounter with the Lord. And then I started reading the Bible. And then I
Oh wow.
remember I was still struggling financially, in the sense that I wasn't really responsible. And I was like late with the rent all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really decided to like get into the Bible and learn, like, what does it say about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I read Luke 14:28, and it's Jesus talking about the tower, and who built a tower without calculating the cost, and da da da. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and that really like spoke to me, because I'm like, I don't calculate anything.
Tower or not.
Yeah, and then so I spoke to a friend, and then he recommended me to a book, and which was by Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started my getting my money in order, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things he said resonated with me. A lot of things he says now, like, throughout the years, I learned a lot, and I don't agree with a lot of the things Dave
Mm-hmm.
Ramsey says, but like at that time, it was a good resource for me.
Yeah. Sure.
So 10 years go by. I'm very active in church, tithing, all doing all the right things, right? And we started a trucking business, my husband and I.
Mm-hmm.
And a year later we had to shut it down.
Oh no. You're like, no, I don't want to see this movie again. Right?
Exactly. But this time I had the Lord with me, so
Mm.
it's different going through tough situations when
Yeah.
you're with the Lord, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's different. But I was still like, Lord, like, what's up? Like,
I've done that too. What's up, man? Right now.
like, I'm doing all the right things in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, what am I missing? Like, why am I here again? Like, it was such a
Mm.
confusing time for me. And one of those times I go to the I started having to drive Uber because like we got really backed up in our bills and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing Uber, and I had to come home. I went to a park, and like I parked at the parking lot, and I'm there looking at the trees and just kind of catching my breath, and I'm like, what am I gonna do now? Because I'm at this point, how old? Like 39 or 40? I don't know. I'm 42 now. I forget.
Yeah.
I don't count anymore.
Right. It's a blur, right?
And I'm like, why am I here? Like, I expected to be at a different like point in my life already. Like, why am I still here? And just all that just opened up a whole can of worms, right? And anyway, I just felt God like telling me, like, you know, I heard this podcast by Bob Lotich. I don't know if you know him, Time. He talks about finances too. And, you know, he cited 2 Kings 4, the story about the widow. And then he, like, what do you have in your house? And I'm like, what do you have in your house? And before I opened our trucking company, I was baking.
Oh.
Because I have a culinary degree. So I did my luncheonette. That didn't work out. So I started baking in my house because just to make some extra cash, but I was just doing it part-time. But it was growing. I had it for like 3 years. It was growing steadily. I always had customers asking me, but it wasn't like, I just felt like, this is not like, is this my purpose, God? Like, I just felt like there was more for me, right? And that's just wasn't like, I just didn't feel like it was my purpose. So, you know, I tried the trucking thing. I had a lot of mess in my head with the whole religion and business aspect, which is what I realized after. I was self-sabotaging in that way because I felt like, you know, we were fine. We had what we needed. Like, why did I want more? I felt guilty about that. I felt...
Am I greedy? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt, but also, you know, the way certain things are taught at the religious institution, I call it now. I don't call it the church anymore because I'm the church.
Yes. Oh, I'm with you.
You can't go to a place that you are, right?
Yes.
Makes sense. And I just felt like the purpose was supposed to be in those 4 walls, right? So I always had this battle. Well, if I pay too much attention to my business, then I'm gonna be disobedient to God somehow. Like, I had that struggle all the time.
Oh, sure.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I always felt bad about myself. I always felt like, you know, a bad goddaughter and the daughter of God, like disobedient to you.
Yes.
And so anyway, in this whole transition, I started really going deep into the Bible. I started going deep into the Bible, asking a lot of questions because here I am tithing, here I am doing this, that, and it's not working out. I'm like, I'm missing something. Anyway, so it turns out I had some limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
But I started looking into businesses because I was like, well, I'm going to start my cake business again. And then I found Russell Brunson and funnel hacking, but it was because I was looking how to grow my business online because my caking business was online.
Sure.
And then that's how I met Myron Golden on YouTube. I know. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, one way to grow your business very quickly online is through funnels. And so then I got registered for that. And then I started listening to Myron Golden. And I remember before I was sitting at a service. Like once a month, I would go up and pray for the tithes, right? And finances, I had given workshops at the church already about money management because I knew it was an issue, right? So that finance part was there, but I didn't really pay attention to it. Like I didn't know it was my calling. But one day at the service, I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I start thinking about all these conversations I'm having with people that I've had previously with people that were struggling financially as well. Mm-hmm. And it just, I don't know, it was like a light bulb went off. It was like all of a sudden my purpose became so clear. Yes. For so many years I had prayed. I'm like, Lord, like, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
But it was because I was looking in the wrong place, right? Sure. And I felt a calling to be an entrepreneur, and I was fighting against that calling.
Right.
So I read Think and Grow Rich, and then I remember there was a YouTube, Myron Golden YouTube video, and it said, why is the church poor, or something like that? Uh-huh. And I have been asking myself that question.
Yeah.
Like, we're sons and daughters of a king. Like, why so many people broke?
Yeah, exactly.
Why so many people struggling financially? So I heard him, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like my purpose just kept getting clearer and clearer in my head. And that created so much desire in me. And I was like, I'm going to be a financial coach.
I love this.
I went and got certified. And, I've been working on my frameworks. I started working on, frameworks. Like, I started learning so many things. And it's been awesome. And that's my story. Myron was, like I say, like a pretty big part of it. Sure. Just how everything like played out. So God bless him. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I know who he is, right? But God bless him. And may he continue to do that for people. I know he's done that for a lot of people. Definitely. And it's something I hope to do for a lot of people as well, right? Just have that impact on someone. It's
like reprogramming,
Yeah.
There's a huge thing, rewriting the code, because,
Yes. And that's what I realized. I was like, I have to unlearn everything I learned, right? Because it's like someone gave me some smudged like glasses, and I was seeing those same smudges.
It's true. What a great analogy.
Seeing what they're seeing, but it wasn't right. And now, like, it was a really big transition. So the closing of that trucking business was truly a blessing in disguise. And I'm like, Lord, but why does it have to get to that point?
Right. Why do we have to go this hard way again?
In my 2 failed businesses is when, like, I had all my revelations and transformations. Yes. But I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'm just stubborn and I can't learn another way.
Am I that hard-headed?
Exactly. But like, we think that it's late or not on time, but he's always on time. So we just have to become the people that we need to be to have the impact on people, right? Before I would see failure as like a flaw in me, like I couldn't, and all these negative things about myself. But now I'm like, it's just part of the process.
Right. Oh, that's so good.
It's a stepping stool. It's a learning experience. That's what it is. Failure is a learning experience. There's nothing else. You just got to keep going. And every time I, feel unmotivated or something, I think about all the entrepreneurs that went through bankruptcies, worse situations than I went through. And now they're millionaires and they're still doing it because they didn't give up.
Right. Oh yeah.
Is that simple? Just keep going.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's incredible. What a transformation to go through and an experience. And I can see where this would serve your clients. Like, that's amazing. Like, you've been there, you've done this work, this mental work, this financial work, all of this. How does it look like for people to work with you? Like, is it group coaching, one-on-one? Do you have books? Like,
so I have one other thing quickly before that. One of the other things that I feel like a lot of people, like there's so much information out there, but I don't know, like, I guess people have to be ready to receive it, right? But one of the things that, like, a budget is not gonna make you rich. It's the map and it's the guide that can get you there, right?
Yes.
And that was one of the things, like, it was the mentality part, right? So I had the budgeting, but I was missing the mentality part, and I was missing some financial education because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's an amazing book. I know that book, that man has transformed a lot of people just with that book.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just knowing that difference between liabilities and assets is so like so important.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. So I took all my experiences and put it into a program.
Nice.
And the way I help people now is through workshops. I have like, if it's like for a bank or something like that, I can do like a 3 to 4 hour workshop. I have a 3-day workshop, and I have a 6-month program that's full on one-on-one.
Wow.
For 6 months, and then I have a 12-week program, and that's in a group setting.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the only actually, and I have a 2-hour session that's also one-on-one. It just kind of depends on the person's need, what it is that they're looking for. Obviously, like the 2-hour one is more focused on like their immediate situations and things like that. So if they wanted to go deeper, it would be like either the 12-week or the 6-month, right?
Yeah. It's a way they can kind of get a taste of working with you, get some quick relief or quick wins anyway, maybe.
Yeah. It certainly will get them on the right path.
Yeah.
And you don't let them go you just keep helping them either through emails or, the content you're putting out. And, I like to give free financial literacy classes. So, you just continue that journey with them.
That's fantastic. I love this. How are you finding your clients, or how are they finding you?
So right now, I was really focused on online, right? Developing my online presence and things like that. But then I came into a wall. And I'm like, I was kind of getting a little exhausted. I was doing everything myself. And then I found, I started going on, I got myself on, what is it, Matchmaker, the podcast platform. I got myself on that. And then this Oportunidades Latinas like messaged me, and they're like, oh, we'd like to interview, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got introduced to First Class Business. And so I've been working with them for a few weeks now, and it's going well. And it just helps me focus on, now I'm focusing on building relationships. So now, I don't know if you're familiar with the platform Alignable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I got on there and I've met like quite a few people. I did one of those smart connects that they call.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's been really good. And I've been like a busy schedule.
That's so great. Oh my gosh. I love to hear that a platform actually works.
Yeah.
I'm on Alignable, but I've been like, what do I do here?
Well,
I don't understand this.
They have, and that's how I was. I mean, I've only been on it for like a month, but the first couple of weeks, it was a friend that sent me the link because I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, try this. And she's like, so when I went on, I'm like, all right, I don't understand, right? And they were sending me emails. I'm like, all right, but they have Alignable University.
Oh,
so,
how about
you know what? Let me take this seriously, because, Jackson from First Class Business, he's like, you need 50 reviews.
Oh, boy.
I have some, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to get that 50 reviews.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But in like 30 days.
Oh, boy. You got homework.
Yeah. So I'm like, I need to make this work. Let me see how this alignable things work, and I started, taking, like, they have like the trainings and things, and you just do what they say and you start meeting a bunch of people.
Wow. Like it says on the label, right? Do as directed. That
Yeah,
is so cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's excellent. Wow. That's so cool. Man. All right. What do you foresee like for your long-term vision for this?
Oh my gosh. So books. Well, I
Mm.
actually wrote a book.
Oh, good. All right. That's awesome.
I haven't, I haven't reviewed the like first draft.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wrote a book.
That's so cool.
So I just want to be like a place where like people know that if they go to me, they're gonna get the help they need. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I want to get to that point. Speak at different events.
Mm.
Just keep spreading the word and just, growing as big as my purpose is, right?
Oh, I
Like
like that.
wherever God takes me,
Mm.
that's where I want to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
And
love it.
now I know that there is no limit, that I don't need to feel guilty, that I'm not being greedy, that actually I'm doing the contrary. Like I'm want to help people.
Yes,
Like I want
exactly.
to serve people, and that's the point, right? So
Yeah.
I don't need to feel guilty about wanting to have an empire or be as big as I can be. Yes, I do. And I want to be a millionaire too. And I'll say it with all the confidence,
Yeah.
right? Like before, I would feel bad about saying things like that, but not anymore. I'm free.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, it's so funny. I've played with that idea too, and I'm like, how about that? Like, all right, so if the wealth comes from providing value, creating value in the world, it's like, okay,
Helping
why would I not
people.
want that?
Hello. And it's like, and it's, when you read the Bible, I mean, if you're a believer, right? If you're not a believer, then whatever. But
Yeah,
I still feel like the Bible, it's like Myron says, and it's exactly like it's not a book about religion. And there's so
right.
many principles, there's so much wisdom in there that if you apply them to your life, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it is. And there's so many principles on there, like all of God's promises lead to nothing but goodness. If
Right.
you
Yeah,
follow the financial principles, you're
yeah.
gonna become wealthy whether you like it or not.
It's true. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Wealth is not just is not all exterior, it's
Right.
interior too, right? Because, and I love it when and he's very open about it, right? And how he says, uh right, because it's the
Yes,
lack is what people focus on, and then
sure.
it's what Adam and Eve, that's what she
Yeah.
focused on when Satan enticed her to, persuaded her, whatever, to
Hmm.
eat the forbidden fruit. Like
Mm.
she focused on her lack, and
Hmm.
that's what it is. Why do people steal?
Mm.
Why are people greedy? Because
Hmm.
they have lack in their mind. Like, why did Jesus say, the poor will be with you always?
Right.
Isn't because there isn't enough money to feed them
Hmm. Right.
or to give them a better life.
Mm.
No, it's because the lack is in their mind. It exists in their mind. Therefore, that's why they're always going to be here.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
And
amazing.
it's like the Robin Hood effect. Some people saying, have you ever heard of the Robin Hood effect? It's
I
like
don't know.
when people say, oh, steal from the rich to give to the poor,
Oh,
or like,
yeah.
if the rich gave to the poor and it would be equal, then
Right.
but guess what would happen? The rich will get rich again and the poor will go poor again, because
Yeah.
they just don't have the wisdom, they don't have the education, they don't have the mentality
Mm.
to grow and multiply their money,
Yeah.
right? That's why the Bible says that the wisdom is more precious than gold and silver.
Sure.
That's exactly why.
Right, because it can, it doesn't get taken from you. It's the wisdom.
Exactly. You already know how to make it work. If someone gives it to you, you're
Mhm.
not gonna know. And
Mm.
that's why lottery winners a lot of times lose their money.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, because they're just not managing their money properly. They don't know how to grow their money, and they're just spending a lot on liabilities.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I love this so much. I want you to come run a retreat here on this.
Yes, let's
Maybe when
do
it's
it.
warm. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Totally.
It's so cool. All right, well, I have to get this in too. Like, what is your favorite way to spend time outdoors? I know you get these, and I love this. So, Myron talks about the four levels of value creation, and the first being that creation mode, right? Which I love that so much because the whole point of the retreat center and the whole point behind my copywriting business is to help people get out so that they can have, that get into that creative mode, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, like if I'm out mowing, we've, probably 10 acres of pasture and I
Oh,
like to
wow.
push mow it. Like it's crazy, but I get these great ideas or walking in the woods. So for
Yeah.
you, what's the way you're clearly a creator? What is the way that you get these great ideas?
Well, honestly, I love to go to the beach.
Hmm.
And I love to go walking. Although
Yeah.
the walking sometimes doesn't work out for me because I have three little girls,
Oh,
5, 7, and 9,
oh,
right?
wow.
And whenever we go, I'm like, let's go walking.
Uh-huh.
And they'll be on their scooters and we'll walk, but then they'll want to end up going to the park because it's always at a park and there's always a playground.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, let's go there. I'm like, this is not what we came for.
That's not a walk.
But I do love to walk and I do love to go to the beach. So at the
Mhm.
beach is better because then they're in the water and I'm just sitting relaxed. I look at the waves, I look at the
Yeah.
sky. And I mean, even that time when I just stopped to go to the park and the trees, like I always feel like I just I just want to look at nature.
Mm. It helps, doesn't it?
Because well, it just reminds me of my creator.
Yeah.
Um and it just makes me feel grateful too. Like
Mm.
it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, right? Like when you can look at nature and see like it's so grand and so beautiful and all the colors of the flowers, like you just feel grateful. You're like, thank you, God. Like there's a solution to everything.
I love that. It's true. It's true.
To
That's
everything
so
there's a
great.
solution. And I've got a lot of my like framework ideas sitting
Hmm.
on the beach because I always go with a notebook and I like to go with a book to read.
Hmm.
Um and I'll just get like these ideas and then I'm like writing it down.
Yes. Oh, I get
So
it.
I got a lot of ideas for my frameworks in my program
Yeah.
um at the beach. Yeah.
That's so great. I love it. The negative ions too, that feel the sand. Like it's so
Yeah,
great.
like
It helps.
exfoliate with the sand.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so great. All right, Narenlee, how can people find out more about working with you?
So they can find me on my website right now. Like I said, I'm working with first class business, and
Mhm.
there's some things that are going to change in
Yes.
my brand. Like, for example, since my target audience is Latinos, I put everything in Spanish. But then
Right.
now, like being alignable and
Oh, yeah.
that, I'm like, I realize like I need to have an English
Yeah.
part too. Like,
I went to it. I'm like, I can't read this.
yeah, I apologize for that. And
No,
so
no.
that's a big like blooper on my part. But yeah, so there's things that are gonna change there. But they could always message me on Facebook, Narenlie Santiago. And my website is right now cgfinancialcoaching.com. But yeah, they can email me info@cambiandogeneraciones.com. If they like reading in English and Spanish, but they don't understand,
Yeah.
they can just email me or message me through Facebook. But again, like there are certain things that are going to change soon for the better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited, and I am going to be doing English and Spanish on my trainings as well. Right now, everything's
Awesome.
in Spanish,
Right.
but I'm just gonna go ahead and do both because, I feel like now the need is there.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I'm not abandoning my Latinos, but
Yeah. Well, there's more people, maybe you're called to serve more,
more.
more languages. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
that's really cool. Oh, I love this so much. Narenlee, thank you so much for being our guest. I can't wait for people to hear this. And your story is so inspiring. And the message that you've got that really brings hope.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, for having me. And yeah, I just would tell people, like, don't give up on,
Mm,
the desires in your heart are God put them there.
mm.
Right?
That's,
Like, don't fight against it. Just
yeah.
explore it, because I know so many people want to know their purpose, and your purpose is
Yeah.
linked to your finances.
Mm,
Because I feel like when you fulfill your purpose, when you're working in your purpose, first of all, you're happier because
yeah.
that's what you're meant to do, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna make money doing it. Like, that's how you're
Mm,
gonna prosper the most.
mm. That's great. That's
So
great.
it's a blessing all the way around. You're gonna
Mm,
help people and you're gonna make money doing it. So don't be afraid of those desires, identify those limiting beliefs, so important. Um, yes, learn to identify them because they're there. They become such a pattern. They become your habits, right?
yeah.
And the Bible says that how he is in his mind, that's
Mm,
how he is.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah, the Proverbs, I think it's 23:7, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so it the mentality part so important. It's like fundamental, it's foundational, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my last words to people.
I love it. It's wise words, folks. I hope you'll come back.
I will. Yes. Invite me anytime.
Absolutely.